Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see very important articles that appeared in our Hindu newspaper. First of all, let us see important topics of the day. Later on, we are going to analysis of those articles from both prelims and as well as mains point of view. At last, I'm going to give you even prelims based questions, guys. So please do watch until last. Don't skip this video. Okay, let us see the topics of the day. The first topic is ISRO releases Respond Basket invites proposals. So here you have to see what is this Respond Basket of this ISRO, and there is a very high chance of getting a prelims based question from this area. And this topic is important from GS paper 3 under Science and Technology. Next topic is study affirms Kerala's rich butterfly diversity in the Western Ghats region. So this article is talking about butterflies diversity in Western Ghats region, and here we have to see how many number of species of this butterflies are there, and here you have to see Western Ghats. And actually in your UPSC prelims, compared to that of world geography, you will get more questions regarding this Indian geography. So there, this Western Ghats versus Eastern Ghats, and even important hills of Western Ghats and biodiversity of Western Ghats. So that kind of questions are often asked in UPSC prelims. So you have to focus on Western Ghats here. And this topic is important from geography and as well as from environment and ecology from GS paper 3. Our next topic is with PM in Jordan, Jaishankar in Israel. India reiterates the position on West Asian conflicts. So this article is talking about our Prime Minister's recent visit to 3 countries. Here we have to see what is the importance of this visit. And this Jordan and as well as one more country which marks 70 and as well as 75th anniversary of relations with that countries. So there is a very high chance of getting a map based question regarding those countries in your UPSC prelims 2026 case. So you have to focus on that area. And this topic is important from international relations from GS paper 2. And next topic is India Maldives joint military exercises. Equivalent concludes. So this article is talking about joint military exercises between India and Maldives, and it is very important from your GS paper 2 under international relations and as well as from defense point of view from GS paper 3. And next topic is inhalable microplastics, a hidden toxin worsening the air in our cities. So this article is talking about microplastic. So till today we know that microplastic will be present in water and as well as food and even in our blood. But even the atmosphere, whatever the air we are breathing in that air also we are having this microplastic. That is a huge threat for our humans. So this topic is important from your GS paper 3 under environment and ecology. And next topic is India and the US 2005 versus 2025. As you already know about, yes, India is improving relation with US, right? And how this US is changing. So in which areas US had been changed from 2005 to 2025, we have to see this. And this topic is important from international relations. And the last topic is rupee breaches 91 level, turns weakest Asian currency in 2025. In 2025, finally India's currency had been like weakened a lot, and $1 is equal to 91 rupees now. 91 point something is. So here, why this thing which happened? You have to think about what are the reasons why the depreciation of Indian rupee happened, and there is a very high chance of getting question in your mains and as well as prelims related to this depreciation of Indian rupee. And this topic is important from economy from GS paper 3. Okay, now let us see these articles one by one in a great detail. Look at the title, guys. Read out the title. ISRO releases Respond Basket invites proposals. So what are the keywords that you can see? You can see 2 keywords. First one is ISRO and second one is Respond Basket. Okay, here UPSC has a tendency to ask questions regarding organizations. Every year at least 2 questions in your prelims will be there from organizations. So you can get a prelims based question regarding ISRO. Like they will give question in this format. Consider the following statements regarding ISRO, and they'll give you 2 to 3 statements, and they may ask you to identify correct or incorrect statements. And the second type of question you can get here is they will take missions of ISRO and other country organizations like NASA, European Space Agency, JAXA, Chinese Space Agency, like that. And they will give you pair based questions. On one side organizations, on one side the name of missions, and on another side they may give objectives, and they may ask you to identify how many pairs are correct or which pair is correct, like that. Okay, so these are the two types of questions that you can get from ISRO. And next one here is you can get directly a question regarding this respond basket. Consider the following statements regarding respond basket, and they will give you like 2 to 3 statements under which they can ask you to identify correct or incorrect statements. And this topic is at most important from GS paper 3 under science and technology. Okay, now let us see why it is in news. ISRO, that is Indian Space Research Organization, released Respond Basket 2025 now. Because of this is in news. And what is Respond Basket? Respond Basket, it is a key initiative by this ISRO under one program called as Respond Program. Respond is nothing but sponsored research program of ISRO. And this program came up by this ISRO in year 1970s. In 1970s itself, ISRO came up with this Respond. And in this program, ISRO wants to fund and as well as support research projects from Indian academic institutions like universities, colleges, research and development labs in India. So they are going to fund the projects of the students from universities, colleges and R&D labs, and they also support these projects of certain college students, guys. And if you study about the satellites, we have big satellites, medium satellites, small satellites, nano satellites and student satellites. That means whenever students from these institutions, whenever they are developing satellites, yes, ISRO will also launch certain kind of student satellites. So this program came up by this ISRO in year 1970, and this program is called as sponsored research program. ISRO is sponsoring the students to conduct certain research and to develop satellites. Okay, it is based on our DPSP. So in our Director Principles of State Policy also, there is one article which says about improving of scientific temper, innovation in the student. So in the part of that, yes, ISRO is also coming up with this kinds of sponsorship of this research programs in these universities. That program is called as Respond, and now it came up with this Respond Basket 2025. That means if students who are having any ideas related to any research or innovation or development related to space, they can post their ideas in this basket now. So this is called as Respond Basket 2025. Okay, Respond Basket is an annual list of priority research topics identified by ISRO. So whatever the projects are mainly filed by the students, so ISRO will be finalizing certain projects and it will be giving the list of the finalized projects of ISRO of the students from these universities or R&D labs. And now in 2025, they came up with this Respond Basket 2025, which is nothing but the annual list of priority research topics identified by this ISRO, guys. And in this Respond, they will be focusing on certain critical topics like quantum computing. So here ISRO will be giving sponsorship for this study or like innovation or coming up with any projects related to different areas. One includes quantum computing, next one is remote sensing regarding launch vehicles and the materials, advanced satellite communication, propulsion, avionics, artificial intelligence, human space flight, planetary science, etc. In all these areas, this program will be focusing. It is not focusing on one area. Wide range of sectors will be focused by this Respond. And this project, which is linked to major programs of ISRO, which are the major programs of ISRO? We have Gaganyaan mission, we have Chandrayaan 4, Chandrayaan 5, and we have this program of Bharatiya Antariksh Station. We are going to build our own satellite station, and even we have certain missions like Venus Orbiter mission and even other planetary exploration. So all these are interconnected with this Respond program, guys. So because of this is in news. Okay, now let us see the next article. Look at the title. Study affirms Kerala's rich butterfly diversity in the Western Ghats region. So this article is very important. So the key words here in this title is, first one is Western Ghats, next one is butterfly diversity. So if there is any life which is there in news, UPSC can ask a question regarding that. If you see this PYQs, you will be coming across lots of questions related to animals, bird species and even insects. In 2024, the UPSC asked a question regarding one insect species called as cicada. Cicada, which is in news. So because of this, they asked question regarding cicada. And they asked a question regarding squirrels. Do you know the squirrels? Have you seen this? Regarding that squirrels also, UPSC asked question once. And even regarding tigers and lions, they asked question. So even if you're getting this kind of research articles in news, there is a very high chance of getting question regarding this butterflies. I think you might have studied about this butterflies in your school days. Like we have 4 stages of butterfly development: egg, larva, pupa, and adult butterfly, right? In the same way, UPSC can ask a basic science-based facts regarding this butterfly. So go through that once, guys. Okay, so first one here is you have to see about this butterfly, and next one is Western Ghats. Where are these Western Ghats located? So here along this west coast of India, we have this Western Ghats. UPSC can ask a simple question like which of the following states in which Western Ghats flow, like that. You have to see the states here. And next one here is in this Western Ghats are famous for certain gaps. Do you know Talghat Gap, Borghat Gap, and Palghat Gap? So they may ask you about these gaps. Because of these gaps, only the monsoon winds will enter into this peninsula part and they will cause rainfall in some areas in this rain shadow regions as well. So here regarding these gaps also you may get question. And here on the east coast we have Eastern Ghats, right? And Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats meet at a place called as Nilagiri. So based on that Nilagiri areas also you may get question. And next one here is whenever we are seeing this mountains or hills, they are the places of this birth of many rivers. So here you may also get question regarding which of the following rivers took birth in this Western Ghats and which are flowing towards east or which are flowing towards west. In that way also you may get question. And next one here is you may also get questions regarding waterfalls in this Western Ghats. So in all these areas you have to make a clear cut notes, and this Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats are the repeated themes of UPSC from Indian geography point of view in your prelims. Today I will be taking you the prelims session, right? So in that session I will be showing like what are the traps used by UPSC in different subjects and how they will frame the questions and how many types of questions are asked in UPSC. And I'll be telling you like how can you prepare for your UPSC prelims 2026 and which subject you have to start. Everything I'll be taking like 2 to 3 classes from today onwards, so that you'll be getting a detailed idea like how UPSC trap the students. Okay, so in that session I'll be showing this kind of questions regarding to the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats case. Then you will be getting some idea, and after once my class is done you have to take the PYQs and you have to practice, so that you will be getting certain ideas like how you can eliminate the statements and how you can come towards a right option. Okay, now let us see the context. This article is saying that recently one study published in Open Access Journal, and that name of the journal is Entomon. In this Entomon journal, researchers they published their study and they said that yes, Kerala is having very rich biodiversity related to this butterfly. So Kerala is owning largest species of butterflies in India. So because of this, this is a news case. And especially in this Western Ghats biodiversity, in all the states where this Western Ghats are there, in all these states, Kerala is having the rich biodiversity of butterfly. So can you tell me like in which states this Western Ghats will be flowing? Like in which states we have this Western Ghats? Kerala, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Goa, some parts of Gujarat. In all these states, we have this Western Ghats. In all these states, Kerala is having a rich biodiversity of butterflies. That is about this article. Okay, now let us see how many species of butterflies are there. Kerala is hosting around 328 butterfly species, which is highest among the states along this Western Ghats. So you may get a simple question. Recently, study on butterflies had been released. Which of the following state is having rich biodiversity of butterflies? In that way also you may get questions, so you have to remember. So now you know, because that is appearing on the screen, that is present before you in the examination hall. Because of anxiety, everything, you may not get that into your mind, you cannot strike that. So because of this you have to make the notes like this and you have to repeatedly revise this current affairs related notes. And this one is entire Western Ghats supports 337 species. That means Kerala is encompassing nearly the full diversity of hotspot of this biodiversity. So entire in this Western Ghats, we have just 337 species. In this 337, 328 are there in this Kerala only. So because of this, Kerala is holding huge biodiversity of this butterflies. And this one here is 41 species are endemic. Endemic is nothing but they are seen in that place only. Apart from this Kerala, we cannot see that species outside this Kerala. So 41 species are seen in this Kerala itself, and there are 36 migratory species. Okay, and if you see the conservation status, around 22 species of these butterflies, they were protected under a least concern, and 70 species are protected under Wildlife Protection Act under Schedule 1 and as well as Schedule 2. That means we are having different levels of protections for these butterflies also in that region according to this Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. Okay, so this is about this topic, and you have to think in different dimensions, and if you are getting any question in your prelims, you need to answer that. And let us see the next article. See the title. With PM in Jordan, Jaishankar in Israel, India reiterates its position on West Asian conflicts. As you all know that our Prime Minister is on visit to 3 countries. Okay, in our earlier class we discussed about Ethiopia, and we also practiced one prelims based question regarding Ethiopia, right? And one update regarding this Ethiopia's visit is our Prime Minister got Ethiopia's highest award called as the Great Honor Nishan of Ethiopia by his Ethiopian counterpart. And this award to honor our Prime Minister role in strengthening India-Ethiopia ties. India-Ethiopia also elevated their ties to strategic partnership after leaders discussed the issues of bilateral interest. So finally, our Prime Minister got one award, which is the highest award of Ethiopia, that is the Great Honor Nishan of Ethiopia. Please make a note. The Great Honor Nishan of Ethiopia. He got this because he played an important role in improving India-Ethiopia relations. That is one update in our newspaper. And next, if you come to this main title, Prime Minister is in Jordan and our External Affairs Minister is in Israel. So Jordan and Israel are part of which Asia, which Asian part? West Asia part. That means our Prime Minister is visit to one country and External Affairs Minister is on visit to another area. So here this article is saying that our government of India wants to improve our stand in this West Asia. And India is involving in resolving of this kind of conflicts in this West Asia. You know that West Asia is not at all stable. It is like very highly unstable region across the world. And we have very small countries. Even mapping will be difficult for this West Asian countries. And UPSC will ask questions regarding this mapping point of view from this West Asia this year for sure. And you have to go thoroughly with your atlas. Okay, now let us see the context. Our Prime Minister, he is in collaboration with Jordan. He says that India-Jordan collaboration for reconstruction of war ravaged Syria, and our External Affairs Minister expressing his support, that is India's support for the Trump peace plan for Gaza. That means we can understand that India is playing an important role in fast evolving scenario in this West Asia. Okay, so here remember only this point that yes, India is also participating in this kind of peace efforts in this West Asia. Try to update this news in your IR notes in West Asia part. Only this thing is important. India is trying to involve. How can we say that India is trying to involve in this West Asia? Yes, our Prime Minister visited Jordan and even External Affairs Minister visited Israel. And you have to see about those 3 nations tour and why our Prime Minister went for that 3 nation tour and what we are going to get. Especially have to see what we are going to get from this India-Jordan visit. And this year, for sure, you will be getting map-based questions related to this 3 nation visit because it marks 70th anniversary as well as 75th anniversary of relations. Okay, now let us see the context. Our Prime Minister is scheduled for visit to these three nations. Which are those three nations? Jordan, Ethiopia, and Oman. And this tour aims to deepen our India's relationship economically, strategically with this West Asia and as well as Africa. Because this region is very important for South to South cooperation, and even as we all know, India is the leader of Global South. To enhance India's position in this Global South, also we need to have this kind of visits. If you see the details here, our Prime Minister visited Jordan on December 15th, and it marks 75 years of diplomatic relations. That means for sure you will be getting questions regarding Jordan this year. So clearly open your atlas and see which are the countries sharing boundary with this Jordan and which are the water bodies which are present nearby. Don't leave this area, guys, because it is the 75th years of diplomatic relations with Jordan. And next one here is our Prime Minister is also visited this Ethiopia, right? And this Ethiopia, why he went to this Ethiopia is we want to improve cooperation for development, agriculture, and investment from this Ethiopia. And if you see about this Oman, Oman marks 70th anniversary of diplomatic relations with India. That means this year West Asia is very, very important. In UPSC, you can expect questions like 50 years anniversary, 70, 75, 100, 125, 150, 200. So like that, if you are getting that kind of news articles, for sure you'll be getting question. And this year there are lots of things in the news regarding 150th anniversary. For example, Birsa Munda, and we have Vande Mataram song. So like that, lots of events were there from history point of view regarding this 100th and as well as 120th are also there, 150th also there. So you have to go back and you have to check which are the events which are like 70 years, 75 years, 100 years, 50 years, 125 years, 150 years, like that. And you have to make a clear cut notes. I'll give you one example. Last year, very simple question came in your paper, that is about E.V. Ramaswamy Nayaka, that is about self-respect movement. Have you heard this self-respect movement? Self-respect movement founded by E.V. Ramaswamy, right? Iyer. So that question was in paper because it was 100th anniversary of formation of that. Many students, they didn't saw that 100th anniversary like that. So because of this, yeah, it is a very simple question even though. So if you know like exactly 100th year what happened back, or 125th year or 150th year, so you can identify the questions directly in your prelims. So that is the one thing that you can check from history point of view. History point of view, at least 3 questions you will get from that point of view, like 75th, 125th, 100th, 150th. So this time there are a lot, so you have to prepare more for this year, guys. Okay, now let us see the significance of this tour. Our Prime Minister, he is on tour to these 3 countries from this West Asia as well as Africa, because we want to improve security and as well as technology and as well as multilateral cooperation between India and that countries. And if you see about this West Asia's importance for India, we need this West Asia for our energy security. Why? Till today we got around 40% of oil, crude oil from this Russia. But because of this Russia Sanction Act, we reduced that, right? Then we want to focus on energy security for our country. For that, on which countries we can depend on? We can depend on this West Asian countries. So because of this, yes, we need to have good relations with this West Asian countries. And next one here is a large and influential Indian diaspora. So normally, if you see in international migration, especially educated people, they will shift towards European countries or developed countries. But what about low skilled persons or middle income people? They will go to this West Asian countries to work in construction sites or oil rigs, everything. So your West Asia will contribute a lot of Indian diaspora. To protect our Indian diaspora, obviously we need to have good relations with this West Asia. And this one here is we want to balance relations across diverse countries like Iran, Saudi, UAE, Oman, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Israel. Especially we want to improve our overall relations with this West Asian countries. And even Africa is very important for India because Ethiopia plays a key role in global aspirations like Global South. And if you want to promote South to South cooperation and multilateral representation, and if we want to get seat in this permanent seat of United Nations Security Council and even NSG, so everywhere we need to have the good support from other countries. So Africa, such a continent, can provide the good support for India. So for that, India needs to maintain good relations with this Africa. And if you say about this Jordan visit, what are the key areas we can focus here? What is the strategic importance of this Jordan year is 2025 marks the 75th year of diplomatic relations. And the important goal of this visit is we have to revive our bilateral ties and we have to improve the cooperation between India and Jordan, and we have to improve the mutual trust, mutual growth, security, stability. And here Jordan is viewed as a stable and moderate voice in this Middle East countries. So here Jordan and also India is having common problems like terrorism, extremism. They want to go for counter-terror operations like that. And Jordan wants to support India for this permanent seat of United Nations Security Council, and as well as on international platforms like WTO. So because of this, yes, Jordan plays a very important role, and even Jordan is significantly important for India to raise its voice against international organizations. Clear? So this is about this topic. So after this class, please open your atlas and see West Asia. This year you have to focus on West Asia much, guys. Okay, next topic. India Maldives joint military exercise. Equivalent concludes. Please make a note here. India Maldives joint military exercise. The name is Equivalent. I said how you have to make notes. Repeatedly, I'll be saying this. So here there is a very high chance of getting questions regarding military exercises or Navy exercises, Coast Guard exercises, Air Force exercises. There are lots in the news, right? So in your prelims booklets, I am including that all. So please try to revise that and try to make a notes in a single A4 size page. Name of the exercise, Army or Navy exercise, with which country and where it had been done. You may get question this year for sure. So it has been 3 to 4 years, question had not been asked in this exercise. Earlier UPSC used to ask that. Because of lots of exercise in this year news, you may get this kind of question, so be careful. So they may ask simple question like India Maldives military exercise. They'll give you 4 options. They may ask. Or else if they want to complicate the questions, they can give you pair based questions. On one side the name of exercise, on one row one column they will be asking the country, with which country. On one column they will be asking military or navy or air force or coast guard. So you have to be very much careful if you are getting that kind of questions, guys. Okay, so here equivalent. So if you see this article, it says that bilateral military exercises equivalent, it is between Indian Army and as well as Maldives National Defense Forces, concluded in Thiruvananthapuram. That is, it held in this Kerala itself. And they went for 2 weeks of intensive training of these armies of the both the sides. Okay, and this exercise focused mainly on counter-insurgency, counter-terrorist operations, and as well as operational environments, enhancing of interoperability and operational synergy. So in all these areas, they focused in this exercise. Okay, now let us see the next article. See the title, guys. Inhalable microplastics, a hidden toxin worsening the air in our cities. What are these microplastics? As you know, we are using these plastics for wide range of applications, right? Wherever you go, we are using these plastics. Even the plates that we are using, even the glass we are using, even the pens we are writing with, everywhere we are cohabiting with these plastics. We cannot live with mobiles, and even we cannot live with this plastic. That is the reality. That is a harsh reality, right? Yes or no? Okay, so what is happening here is, whenever we are using plastic, whenever we are throwing out, it will disintegrate, it will degrade, and will be broken up into very small fine particles. The particles which are less than this 5 mm are called as microplastics. And even in our cosmetics, especially women, we use cosmetics, right? In that cosmetics also, especially we'll use scrubs. In that scrubs, we'll be having this microplastics. Okay, and even in sunscreens also we have this microplastics. Okay, so what we are doing here is, there is increasing of microplastic pollution, and actually sunscreen related microplastic is a prelims based question 2023, guys. So in which of the following areas we can see microplastic? They gave sunscreens. So many women who are using that, they don't know that they are having this microplastics. So here you have to see that kind of questions. If you see UPSC prelims based questions of previous years, we can understand like in which areas UPSC can ask question and how UPSC can frame the question. So you have to clearly see all these PYQs, guys. Then only you will be getting certain knowledge like how UPSC can ask the question and how you have to prepare and how your mindset should be. Unless and until if you see your PYQs, you cannot solve these questions. I'll show you today how they will be, and then you will be getting some idea. Okay, the questions will be in this format. I have to prepare in this way. So you will be understanding, you will be realizing how you have to prepare for the prelims today. Of course, I think so. I don't know how you'll feel like that. Okay, let us see here. This article is saying that in our atmosphere, there is high concentration of microplastics. So recently one study says that atmospheric pollution has traditionally been associated with criteria pollutants. They have now been joined by respiratory contaminants fueled by annual production of 400 million metric tons of plastics. So every year, humans across the world, we are generating 400 million metric tons of plastics. What is the ton? 1 ton is equal to how many kgs? 1 ton is equal to 1000 kgs. 1000 into 400 millions. Think here how much amount of plastic we people are generating. And finally, where it will end up? End up in the water, end up in the soil, and even there is no space in this water and soil. So because of this, now it is increasing its concentration even in air, guys. So here in air we have this microplastic contamination, and we are silently breathing that without our knowledge, and it will go and it will deposit in our lungs. So normally earlier, if you have seen, there were many shots which will be showing like if you are smoking this many cigarettes per day, how your lungs will become. Now the new trend will be if you are breathing more air in this cities, how your lungs will be filled with microplastic will be the new trend of videos that will come in the YouTube soon. Even mask, whatever you do, we have to be very much careful now, especially we are living in this metropolitan cities. The people who are living in this metropolitan cities will be having more risk of this microplastic pollution and microplastic contamination or accumulation in your lungs. Be careful, guys. If you're going outside, please wear mask. Okay, researchers found that there are inhalable microplastics. They can also carry microbes that contain antibiotic resistance genes. A plastic, whatever the plastic you are breathing, on that surface of this microplastic, there will be also one more double dhamaka. We have microbial resistant bacteria or virus, whatever it may be, it will be there in that. So with this microplastic, we are not only inhaling microplastic, along with this microplastic, this antibiotic resistance gene containing bacteria or virus will also enter into our body. We will be getting real advantage of breathing of this microplastic now. So there is a very high risk of developing cancer because of accumulation of microplastics, and even this virus or bacteria which is entering into our body, that will be creating or that will be developing a new kinds of disease in our body. And next one here is we can get hormone related problems and especially breast problems in women, and as well as respiratory illness in elderly and as well as children. So this will be the some impact of this breathing of microplastics inside. In all four cities, winter evenings had a mean inhalable microplastic concentration of 32.7 particles per meter cube in every 1 meter area. So how much meter is equal to 100 centimeters, right? So it will be in this area, we will be having around 33 particles are there. So because of this, what is happening here? There is increased levels of microplastic, and even there is an increased health concerns now. Actually, this study had been done in 4 metropolitan cities. They are Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai and Chennai. Hyderabad data had not yet been released. So we have to wait and watch. Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai, Chennai. Bangalore is also not there. We have to check what is the levels of microplastics in this Bangalore and Hyderabad. Okay, so based on that, take proper precautions while you're moving away in the roadsides whenever you're going out. So outing is not a thrill now. Outing will also get health problems in you guys. Be careful. Just it's a warning signal. Okay, see here, next article, stepping stone. This article is talking about one more bill. In yesterday's class, we discussed about two bills, right? Two new bills of 2025. What are those new bills? Viksit Bharat. Viksit Bharat. Come on. Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhinishthan Bill 2025, which is going to remove this UGC, AICTE, NCTE. And next one is Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar and Ajivika Mission Gramin, which is going to replace 20 years MG Narega scheme. And what are the things that we discussed? We are going to improve the number of working days from 100 to 125. And next one is we are going to upgrade the systems. And next one here is we are going to go for digital governance, and as well as we are focusing on climate resilient infrastructure development through this new bill now in these rural areas, especially for example flood prone areas to be developed according to that, or else disaster, or else earthquake areas should be developed like earthquake resistant, like that they are focusing on climate resilient infrastructure. And now one more bill which is there in news, please make a note. It is about Shanti Bill, SHANTHI, Shanti Bill 2025. Shanti is not name of woman here. It is about nuclear power production in our country. So as you all know that what are the sources of power production or electricity production in India? Thermal. More than 70% of our electricity we are producing from thermal energy. And if you are producing that energy by burning of the coal, is that good for environment? It will release carbon dioxide emissions, sulfur dioxide emissions, and even PM 2.5 concentration will be increased. And actually our government wants to move towards renewable energy. So government is improving the solar energy and as well as wind energy, and even one more source of renewable energy here is nuclear energy. So here this article is saying that India is having a target of improving of energy to be produced from this nuclear power plants. At present, we are producing only 3% of our electricity from this nuclear power plants. And please make a note, India's target is to produce 100 gigawatts of nuclear capacity by 2047. Please make a note. Now at present, we are producing only 3% of power through this nuclear, but India's target is to produce 100 gigawatts by 2047. To achieve that, yes, obviously we need to come up with the changes in our infrastructure. So for that, our government proposed a new bill called as Shanti Bill. So let us see what are the provisions of this bill and how can we achieve this goal of 100 gigawatts by 2047 by this bill. And this is very, very important. Okay, so this article is talking about sustainable harnessing and advancement of nuclear energy bill. The full form of this Shanti is sustainable harnessing. Please make a note. If you are writing other public examinations, you will get full forms, abbreviations related questions also. Shanti stands for Sustainable Harnessing and Advancement of Nuclear Energy Bill. And this bill, it is a progressive step towards reforming our nuclear sector by enabling limited private participation so that we can achieve our targets of 100 gigawatts by 2047. Okay. I already said about this data, right? And the core elements of this bill is, first one is we want to encourage private sector. If everything is under the hands of public or government sector, we cannot achieve all our dreams and goals. So because of this, they want to allow this private sector. So here, this bill is going to amend one act called as Atomic Energy Act of 1962, and now we are going to issue licenses for nuclear activities, not only for government entities but also joint ventures, especially domestic private firms. That means Indians who want to come up with this nuclear power plants, yes, for them now government will be giving permission under this Atomic Energy Act. The act which will give the permission for the production of nuclear energy here is Atomic Energy Act. Now this bill is going to amend this act, and now we are going to issue licenses even for the private people for production of nuclear energy in India. That is the first important proposal. And this one here is, it restricts private entry into non-sensitive areas like plant construction, operation, supply chain segments, while keeping proliferation sensitive fuel cycles. Only in certain areas we are going to encourage this private people. That means there is a strict control of private in this nuclear power. And this one here is, whoever the person who are operating this kind of small modular reactors or big power plants, so they are liable for accidents. If there is any accident which happens, now who is liable? Operator will be liable, and they need to have a proper insurance, proper finance. They should be done properly, and then only they will be getting license. And next one here is supplier accountability. So in case of any written contracts or intentional acts or omissions causing damage, then the supplier is accountable for that kind of loss. And this one here is, this bill also saying that we need to come up with proper safety, enforcement, dispute resolution, participation rules clearly, so that we can go for proper generation of nuclear energy gas. So these are the 4 important points that you have to remember from this new bill, guys. And let us see the next article, very important article of the day. You already completed international relations. You already know about India-US relations. So when it had a when formally US started supporting India, and you know about different organizations where India and US are like members, and even we are discussing about this India-US relations from this last 3 to 4 months intensely because of this Trump 2.0 era, tariffs 50%, and even threatening of India. And even recently, US president also made certain statements that US mediated the war between India and Pakistan. Because of that only, India is safe like that, and we condemned all those kind of statements, right? So all these things which are going on in the news. So now this article is saying that within 20 years, from 2005 to 2025, lots of change which happened in this India-US relations. They gave clearly like how the change happened and why the change happened, in which areas the change happened. So let us see those things, guys. So if you see about this 2005 era, so US explicitly stated its objective very clearly regarding India, that US wants to help India to become a major world power in 21st century. In 2005, US clearly supported India that yes, we are going to support India and India will become the major power in this 21st century. At that time, US viewed India as like global order. It wants to strengthen the global order. US like on a path like everyone should get empowered. So like that, US wants to support the countries which are like really need that. And even US gave the confidence that led to civil nuclear agreement in our country. And after this 1998 nuclear test, yes, US also supported India's nuclear production. And actually, that approach is rooted in this internationalist spirit, where strengthening rises democratic powers like India was seen as mutually beneficial, fostering a strategic partnership based on shared values and possibilities. At that time, which are the countries which focused on democracy? And you know that US is the largest democratic country in the world. So US started supporting these democratic countries. So India is one country which had been supported by US, and at that time in 2005, the important idea between India and US was like we were going to improve the strategic partnership, and even India and US have the shared values and as well as possibilities. So because of this, US is supporting this India at that time of 2005. But what happened in this 2025? Now 2025, if you see here, America came up with this narrowing of relationship with US. Sorry, India's and US relations are narrowing in this 2025. So how can we say they are narrowing of relations? For example, earlier we used to have generalized preferences. India was part of this preferences. India do not have proper tariffs. US will not impose like tariffs on India's, because of India is part of generalized preferences. But now India had been removed from that generalized preferences list. That means US can impose tariff. After that, what happens slowly? Indian goods are attracting 50% of tariff because of this Russian Sanction Act. And here US started threatening India. For example, US is sending Indians back. You know this, right? And especially tightening of H1B visa norms. Because of this, it is restricting entry of Indians into US. And even what happened, US recently started certain threats like we are going to impose more tariffs on this rise of India. So what is happening here? Because of all these things, we can understand that there is straining of relations between India and US. And actually, in this 2025, India and US are maintaining relations, especially to counter one country called as China. So especially this article is saying that 2025 relationship between India and US is seen as counter China containment strategy. And actually we are continuing to improve commercial relations, but even though we are not having the full-fledged relations as we do in 2005 with US. And next one here is US and India are coming together especially for improving of safety and security in this Indo-Pacific region. That is a one important thing. And next one here is US is thinking that whenever we are supporting other countries, it is increasing the burden on those countries itself. So they want to slowly decrease their presence or decrease their relations with this India. Yeah, that's it, guys. So here, if you see what exactly this article is saying, that in 2005, the view of India's rise is an objective to US. But in 2025, the view of US on India is it is subordinate to US, and especially they want this kind of countries to balance China. So this is the view which had been completely changed before 2005 and after to this 2025, guys. So this one point which says about this article's gist. In 2005, US supported India to rise, but in 2025, US is feeling that India is subordinate to US and India will helps to balance China. And actually still today also we have good cooperation between India and US. There are certain converging areas like Quad and Indo-Pacific strategy, but it is conditional. Okay, it is not like full-fledged relations that are going on between India and US, guys. So that is about this article, nothing more than that. And let us see the next article. Title says, Rupee breaches 91 level, turns weakest Asian currency. So actually what is happening here? Weakening of India's currency. This topic is called as depreciation. So whenever the value of Indian rupee is decreasing, that is called as depreciation. Now $1 is equal to 91.14 rupees, guys. 91. It is one of the deadliest situation that we got related to this Indian rupee value. Rupee value is drastically decreasing, guys. So whenever Indian rupee value drastically decreases, then what happens? There will be increased demand for dollar, decreased demand for Indian rupee. So because of this, if any investors who want to invest in India, will they invest? Investments will be getting affected. We are not going to attract more foreign funds to India. And next one here is whatever the funds which had been invested in India like FDI, FPI will be leaving India. Okay, that means we are going to have a huge tough time soon, guys. And we have to see how government is going to handle that situation. Okay, on one side we are saying that there is increasing of GDP. On another side, we are saying that India's GDP is like skyrocketing. On one side, they are saying that inflation is less. But on another side, what is the harsh reality? There is a decreasing of the value of Indian rupee. Okay, so see this concept, what is depreciation? What happens because of this depreciation? And what is the impact on Indian economy? Okay, think in that area. Already you have done with your economy, right? Today's main question will be on this topic, depreciation. Clear? And now let us see the next prelims based questions. See the questions, guys. Consider the following statements regarding ISRO's RESPOND program. The RESPOND program was initiated in 1970s to fund research projects from Indian academic institutions in space-related fields. Is that right or wrong? Next statement, the RESPOND Basket 2025 focuses exclusively on quantum computing for space applications. Think. It is not focusing exclusively on quantum computing. Even they said that artificial intelligence, launch vehicles, everything, right? I said around 5 to 7 areas where they are focusing on. So here exclusively is the extreme word here. So you have to identify the extreme words in the statements. Okay, so what is the correct answer? Correct answer is A1 only. It is not exclusively on this quantum computing. So while you are reading your statements, the presence of mind is very important. Okay. Yeah, next question C here. Consider the following statements about the geography of Jordan. First statement, Jordan shares the longest land border with Saudi Arabia in south and east. The Dead Sea is the lowest point on Earth's surface, forms a part of Jordan's western border. Aqaba is Jordan's only port city, provides access to Gulf of Aqaba on Red Sea. The capital city Amman is located in the southern part of the country near Petra. Which of the following statements given above are correct? Online students, please tell me answer for this question in the comment box. By this, I'm concluding. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and please do like this class and share this class. And you can follow us on our Telegram channel where we are providing PDF of this class, and as well as we are providing mains question with model answer and also prelims based question with answer, and also current affairs in short in our Instagram page. Please do follow us. Don't forget, guys. Thank you so much.